Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a necklace and a pair of earrings today, and I'm going to use some of the beads and findings that came in the most recent bargain bead box, the one for September 2024. It's called Mystic Moonrise. I'll put a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the unboxing video I did for this subscription in case you want to watch it, where I go over everything that came in the box. I have a coupon code. It's Teresa2, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to the page to sign up for the subscription if you're interested. The coupon will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. And here I have the 6mm indigo glass beads that came in the box. And here I have the star cut glass beads that came in the box. And here I have the 10mm Lapis Lazuli beads that came in the box. I've got the bead caps that came in the box. I've got one of the crescent moon pendants that came in the box. I've got a bell from my stash, an eye pin, one of the little star charms that came in the box, and one of the little 4mm faceted agate beads that came in the box. In here I've got some findings. I've got a lobster clasp, a couple of 2x2 crimp tubes, a couple of wire guardians, a couple of pieces of the chain that came in the box, a piece of larger chain from my stash that has larger lengths that I'm going to use as an extender chain. I've got some 4mm jump rings, one 8mm jump ring, one of the star charms that I'm going to hang off the extender chain as a dangle, and I've got a couple of crimp covers. I think that's everything. Oh, and I've got a couple of the links that came in the box. I'm going to be using some Miyuki 11 seed beads to space out the beads. These are, I think the color is Smoky Topaz on these. For my earrings, I'm using 2 of the 10mm beads, 4 of the star cut beads, 4 bead caps, a couple of 4mm jump rings, a couple of pieces of 22 gauge German style wire, a couple of the star charms, and a couple of ear wires. I'm going to be using my Soft Flex beading wire in fine. This is 21 strand and the color is copper. I've got my bead stoppers. I'm not going to go over all my tools like I usually do. It's the same tools that I always use, and I fear that you all might be getting tired of hearing me go over them every time I do a video, because it's the same tools that I always use, and of course you'll see them as I use them, and I always leave a link to them in the description box below. I do, however, have a new pair of pliers that I'm very excited about. I thought I had accumulated every pair of jewelry pliers made over the years. Some I have multiple pairs of them, and I've been having such a hard time since I decided to start trying to use crimp covers. I've been having such a hard time getting them closed well, and one of the wonderful people that watches my videos commented and told me that they make a crimp closer pliers. And so I just had to get some, and I did, and I really, really like them. They make it a lot easier to close the crimp covers. I mean, I'm still not really, really good at it. I still don't get them as round as I would like them to be, but these make it a whole lot easier, so I'll be using these. But other than these, I'm using all the same tools that I always do, and I have my little New Orleans shot glass to put my wires in when I cut them off. I think that's everything. I'll put links to everything I can find links for in the description box below, everything that didn't come in the box. So hold on, I'll get some of this out of the way and I'll be back. Okay, first I'm going to work on my focal here. So I'm going to take my eye pen and open up the eye of the eye pen. And thread on my little star and close it back. And now I'm going to put on my little 4mm agate bead. Now I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to make a simple loop here. So I'm going to go just to, I think my eye pin is got a little bit out of shape there. I'm going to go a little bit above the bead so that I don't crack my bead. I'm going to bend the pin over at a 90-degree angle. I'm going to take my cutters and I'm going to cut off and leave about 1/4 of an inch of the pin. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and go to the end here and make sure there's no wire sticking out on this side. And I like to go down pretty far on the barrel and start my loop. And then I go up here to the tip and finish it. It just is easier for me to do it that way. So I'm just going to keep rolling my loop until it gets closed. And I usually have to straighten up my loops. They're usually not straight and they're not straight. So just take 2 pairs of pliers and straighten them so that they're both facing the same way and everything. Now I'm going to open this loop that I just made and thread it onto this inside loop on my pendant. And then I'm going to close my loop back. And I need to straighten that up because it got bent. So that's going to be my focal. So now, oh, and I need to, I think I got one too few jump rings. I need another jump ring. I'll get one out of my other little tray here. I need a jump ring to put it on my bail with, don't I? So I'm just going to take a 4mm jump ring and open it up and thread on my pendant and thread it onto my bail and close my jump ring back. Make sure to get it closed back really well. So that's going to be my bail, or my focal. So now I'm going to go ahead and string my necklace so that y'all don't have to wait while I string all these little tiny beads. And then when I get back, I'll show you what my pattern is. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got my necklace all strung up now. I've got 11 seed beads between all the beads, and I've got bead caps around the 10mm beads. So I've got a star cut bead, a 6mm indigo bead, and a star cut bead, a 10mm bead, a star cut bead, indigo bead, star cut bead, 10mm bead, star cut bead, indigo bead, star cut bead, 10mm bead, star cut bead, indigo bead, star cut bead, and then I have 3 10mm beads with star cut beads between them, and then a star cut bead, and then here's where I have my pendant on here, and I have a couple of little 11 seed beads under the bail there so that the bail's not rubbing directly against the bead stringing wire. And then on the other side I have just exactly the same thing on this side. So now I'm going to crimp. So take my crimp tube and put it on here. My wire guardian. I go down the other channel of the wire guardian. Back into the crimp tube. Make sure to hold my wires so that they don't cross in there. Try to hold them apart. I'm going to take these crimping pliers. I'm going to use that part that has the tooth. I'm going to lay the tooth on top of the crimp tube. Never wants to turn around here and face me like I want it to. Okay, now I'm going to squeeze. And that did not work. You can tell it didn't work by the way it... Oh, that happens to me a lot. I'm going to try to open it back up and crimp it again. Lay my tooth on top of the crimp tube and squeeze. Okay, I think it worked that time, because I have that little indentation in there where both wires are in their own little channel. Now I like to use these crimping pliers to fold the crimp, that little, the two half circles at the end there. So I'm going to lay my crimp in there and squeeze. Give it a good tight squeeze. Now I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to cut off my extra wire. Now I'm going to push all this down. And cut my wire off my spool. And I'm going to take my other crimp tube and my other wire guardian. Go down the other channel of my wire guardian. Back into my, well, if I can get that to go through there. Okay, now I'm going to go back into the crimp tube, hold my wires apart, and I like to try to go through a bead on this side if I can to get my hands out of the way and to center my wire guardian over the last bead. Okay, pull my wire through, hold on to my wire guardian, make sure my wires are not crossed. Now I want it to be, I don't want there to be any slack in my piece, but I don't want it to be too tight either. I usually leave it coiled up like this, and that keeps it from being too tight. So I want to make sure there's no gaps or anything. And now I'm going to take these crimping pliers and use the part with the tooth. Lay the tooth on top of my crimp tube. Squeeze. And now I'm going to take my other crimping pliers. Of course, you don't have to do this with two pairs of crimping pliers. You can use one. I just have both of these, and I like the other ones for the crimping and these for the folding better. So I'm going to give that a good tight squeeze. And now I'm going to tug. That's good. So now I'm going to cut off the extra wire. So now I'm going to get the crimp covers and play with my new pliers, so I'll be back. Okay, I've got one of my crimp covers on. Now I'm going to try to put the other one on. Like I said, this is still not perfect. I'm still not all that good at this, but I'm going to lay my crimp tube over my crimp bead. It says on the little package to pick up the crimp tube with these pliers, but I can't seem to do that, so I seem to have an easier time picking it up with my hands. So now I'm going to try to get my hands out of the way and put my crimp tube in that little indentation there, or my crimp cover. Now I'm going to squeeze slowly. Just keep squeezing. Until I get it closed. And I'm gonna go back to front and squeeze a little bit to try to round it out a little bit more. And I'm going to turn around here and try to squeeze it the rest of the way closed. So, it's still not entirely closed. There we go. I think that's got it. That's it doesn't dent up my little crimp cover like when I use just the regular pliers. These pliers don't. Okay, I better leave it alone or I'll completely mess it up. So, so I've got that done. So hold on, let me get the rest of my findings, put them on here, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to put the rest of my findings on here now. First, I'm going to put my links here on. So I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring. And open it up. And thread on one side of my necklace and my link. Close my jump ring back really well. That's not laying the way I want it to be. And why is it not laying the way I want it? It's okay. There we go. Now I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring and open it up and put it on the other side of my necklace and the other link. Close my jump ring back really well. Okay, now I'm gonna got a couple of pieces of chain here. I think these little pieces of chain are about 2 inches. I just kind of guessed at it when I cut them because I left all my measuring tools in the other room. And I didn't want to have to go get them after I'd already started the video. So I didn't have anything to measure them with, so I just kind of eyeballed it. So, but I think they're about 2 inches each. So I'm going to open my jump ring and thread on my link. And thread on my chain. Close my jump ring back really well. And I'm going to do the same thing on this other side. Okay, now I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring. Open it up and put on my lobster clasp. And attach it to my chain. I'm going to take, this is an 8mm jump ring. Drop it in my pliers. Open it up. Put it on this side of my chain. And then I have another piece of chain that I'm using as an extender that I think is about 2 inches long. Close that back. Heavier pliers. Okay, now I think I am short a jump ring. I didn't get enough out. Let me get one out of my earring tray here and I'll get another one. So I'm going to take my another 4mm jump ring and open it up, thread on my little star charm, and thread it onto the end of my extender chain. Close that back up really well. So there's my little dangle, and there's my necklace. So hold on, I'll get my stuff and make a little earring, so I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to make a little earring now. So I got a piece of my 22 gauge wire, and I meant to cut this about 3 or 3.5 inches, and I think it's probably more like 4. Because like I did with the chain, I was just guessing at it. So now I'm going to take my pliers and go down about 1 inch. Bend the wire over to 90-degree angle. Around those pliers, put them in the crook of the bend. Around those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Like that. Stands my little wire straight up there. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold onto my loop. Bring this wire down. Wrap it around the longer piece of wire. About 3 times. Now I'm going to take my cutters, and I use a different pair of cutters for craft wire and head pins and eye pins than I do for bead stringing wire. Cut off my extra wire. I'm going to take English or a star cut bead. Bead cap, my 10mm bead cap, and a star cut bead. I'm going to take my pliers, get everything straightened up. I go to the very tip of the pliers. Bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Around those pliers facing me. Pin the wire back until it hits the beads. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this piece of wire under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the beads. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down. I'll take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. And I'm going to make sure to get that first wrapping under the bottom of the loop and not over the top of the bottom of the loop. Just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. And I use these crimping pliers, the little half circles at each end, to tuck in the burrs when I cut off wire. You want to be really, really careful here if you're doing it against a crystal like I am, because it's really easy to break it when you do this. You just do it really gently. So now I'm going to take my pliers and 4mm jump ring. Open up my jump ring. Thread my little star charm on here and put it on the bottom of my earring. Close it back really well. Now I'm going to take my ear wire and open it up and thread my little earring on here. Close it back up. So there's my little earring. So hold on and I'll try to get this all laid out and together so you can see it. So I'll be back. Okay, there's my necklace and pair of earrings made with some of the beads and findings that came in the most recent bargain bead box called Mystic Moonrise. This will most likely be the first of many pieces of jewelry I'll make from this box. I'm always able to get many, many pieces of jewelry out of one bargain bead box. It's just a really tremendous value. It's a subscription that I very much recommend. And like I said, if you're not subscribed and you decide you want to be, that coupon will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.